Hey everyone, it's Kelly with Brave Parenting, and today we're going to talk about Snapchat. This app is wildly popular from young kids to college age. There's a lot of aspects of the app that every parent needs to know when considering whether or not to allow their child to have this app. First is the terms of service. Maybe you don't read all that fine print before you download an app, but with Snapchat it's really important because the terms of service actually state that no child under the age of 13 is allowed to create an account or use its services. So parents, this really means no child under 13 should use the services or have an account. So make sure that you show integrity and abide by that with your children. Now, we'd like to think that Snapchat has this policy because they know that content is going to be inappropriate for children under this age, but that is not the case. They're really just abiding by the COPA laws, which prohibits businesses from collecting data in children under the age of 13. Now, the Snapchat app opens with a forward-facing camera. There's lots of augmented reality filters that can make yourself look like a dog, or maybe that you're like puking up a rainbow. All of these sort of fun aspects that a lot of people like. But at the core, parents need to realize that this is a forward-facing camera encouraging constant taking of selfies and sending it to other people. Now, we can think, is a bunch of selfies really, a bad thing? Well, if you're trying to build humble character when you're actually thinking and focusing on yourself less, then yes, this amount of selfies can be a problem considering how many snaps children will end up sending in a day. Also, kids sort of become addicted to sending snaps in every location, in every place, looking a certain way. Sexting is another common thing associated with the Snapchat app because girls are often taking pictures with less and less clothes on, leading to a lot of immodesty because of this forward-facing camera. Now, the way that the Snapchat works is, I can send you a snap, and then if you send me a snap, we actually have ourselves a streak. This is a new feature that Snapchat added recently, that they started tracking how many days in a row you're sending snaps to someone, and they call this streaks. Snapchat will keep track of this for you, and they will show you who your friends are and how long your streaks are. And this has sort of become a thing that children feel really compulsive and obsessed about doing and keeping up these streaks, even though they may be sending something of complete insignificance. It may not even be a picture of themselves, maybe a picture of the ceiling in order to keep up their streak. But this is Snapchat's way of building user loyalty, keeping the user coming back to the app every day in order to continue using it. Now, in this culture where our children have become used to certain numbers, whether it be likes, followers, Snapchat also gives a score to children, which can help define their fame or their popularity or even their worth. And that arbitrary number, when it's quantified in such a way, sadly, can be ingrained in a child and truly define whether they are popular or worth anything based on this number. And that doesn't mean anything. This kind of leads into one way that Snapchat is manipulating our children to being addicted to the app. If streaks weren't bad enough, also inside the app, Snapchat allows you to earn trophies or these sort of rewards that don't really mean anything. And you can earn them by maybe sending a video snap, having a streak, sending a snap when it's more than 100 degrees outside, maybe sending a snap between 4 and 5 a.m. All of these arbitrary reasons, but just encouraging you to get in the app and send more snaps. This is how Snapchat is manipulating our kids into constantly feeling they have to be inside this app, constantly checking, constantly sending. Another way is that Snapchat is sort of engineering our children's friendships. Depending on who you send the amount of snaps to or who your streaks are with, Snapchat will keep track of those and then so kindly give you a list of who your best friends are. There's a sort of code of emojis defining who your best friends are and what sort of status they hold. You can see here on this code an awkward face is, oh, your best friend is actually their best friend, awkward. Imagine how it can feel in that tumultuous time of like middle school when relationships are already hard. Here we have an app telling our children who their best friends are and who their best friends aren't and who their best friends' best friends are. It can be so confusing and add so much drama to their life as it is. And if you're not allowing your child to have Snapchat, but maybe all of their friends do, imagine how that can feel to them when they're the one person who, even though they think they're best friend, Snapchat isn't listing them because they don't have Snapchat. So this, again, is one way that Snapchat is trying to engineer who our children's friends are by who has the app. Another aspect of the Snapchat app is the Discover section. This is sort of how Snapchat tells news stories, and it's told through short snaps that you can watch. And frankly, there doesn't seem to be any sort of targeting based on age or interest or who your friends are. This feed of news is pretty much focused on sex, celebrities, sports, and every now and then, maybe your cat. That's it. And there are no parental controls blocking the Discover section or putting sort of limits on what type of content your children can see. It's all there, and it's in an endless, never-ending scroll of stories that your children can get into. A lot of it, most of it, is inappropriate for young children and even teenagers. And again, there's no parental controls. It's just there anytime your child feels bored and needs a little entertainment. So, considering all of these aspects, whether it be the terms of service, the selfie-centeredness, the manipulated addiction, the engineered friendships, and the Discover section, Brave Parenting's recommendation for all parents is to not allow Snapchat. We know that it's one of the most commonly used apps in teenagers today. However, it does not add any value or any character of positive quality to their life. If anything, it is showing them inappropriate content. It is addicting them into manipulative and habit-forming ways of communicating. And also, I know that this is going to be really hard. We call this brave parenting because making this sort of parenting choice means that you have to be brave. Your children are not going to be happy if you block the Snapchat app. However, I have stood here and I tell you I have blocked this app for all my children since the beginning. And guess what? They still communicate with their friends. And frankly, they know exactly who their best friends are because they are friends who have stood beside them, whether they have the Snapchat app or not. Now that is true friendship. So I encourage you to be brave and not allow Snapchat for your child. If you're looking for other ways to be brave and build character in your kids as they grow up in this media-saturated world of technology, jump over to Amazon.com and pick up Brave Parenting's book, Managing Media, Creating Character. It's about building standards from when they're young to even when they're teenagers for how your children will always engage and interact with today's media and technology. Thank you so much for joining us here at Brave Parenting. My name is Kelly. Until next time, go and be brave. And since you're watching us here on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.